Hey guys, Sean Zim, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. This is the Connection Conversation Show where we're bringing on guests to provide some massive value. We talk about what they're doing as a living, and also trying to give you some value that you can actually take, some takeaways that you actually take action, implement, and change your life. So it's something that I want you to sit back and enjoy. Some participation rules, don't forget, subscribe, hit that like button, but drop a comment. Don't just watch us, just listen to us. Engage. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. We'll definitely get back to you. And to keep that we know that you're alive, drop your favorite emoji every few minutes. That'll be great because we could fill up the comments. That'll be a wonderful thing for our algorithm. One last thing before I bring on my guest, I want to make sure every single one of you take a look at, actually, I have it on the wrong. Let me put this back over here. I want you to see this before we bring in my guest. You have to got backup, guys. It is the opportunity to save your favorite pictures, your loving videos. You have 6 terabytes of storage for 6 separate accounts for $9.97 a month. If you want to learn more about it, definitely take a look at the link in the description. Let me bring on my next guest. He is not a stranger. He's someone I've collaborated with before. We have Wayne DeCoteau. What's up, man? How are you?
Mr. Sean Zim, how are you, sir? I am well. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Thanks for joining me, man. A lot of people, we've done this before. It's all about providing that value, man. It's about giving. We're about educating. And I know we've done that before. We're going to continue to do it. I love having meetups with you. And before we get into what we're going to talk about, who are you and what do you do, Wayne?
All right. So Wayne DeCoteau, New Jersey resident, a husband, a father of 2 teenage boys. And by profession, I help families maximize the benefits that they can get from residential solar. 20 years in the state of New Jersey, 22 years married, and a decade in the solar industry. And again, like you, Sean, what I love to do is be of value. For you, as it relates to your customers, you're not just someone that says, hey, you need an insurance policy. You're going to go out there, you're going to work with them, you're going to get them what's best suited for them. I like to say that I help families do the same thing as it relates to residential solar.
I like how a lot of people go in different directions when they introduce themselves. Sometimes it's like very short and sweet. Yours is detailed and short and sweet. And it's something that you're creating your own, slogan. Your partner in solar too is a great thing that you've created over the time that I've known you. But it's something that not a lot of people they're not as passionate, enthusiastic of what they do. So instead of you talk about your family. Why? Because you work so you can take care of your family. You don't work because you just want to work. I hate to work. Honestly, I want to be on a beach. I want to play golf all the time. But I like to do what I do because we can help others. And that's why I love collaborating with you, because you're same mindset. And you're not just selling a solar policy or opportunity. You're actually listening to your clients. You're sitting down with people. You're face to face, either on a Zoom or in person, and you do that constantly. And it's a powerful thing. And you're also asking questions of your recommendation sources too, because you're always feeding them too.
Absolutely. And that partnership piece, right? Again, a decade in the industry, and I'll ask you, right? Do you like to be sold? Right?
Never.
I don't know anybody that says, hey, I just got sold and I'm excited, right? So when I use the term your partner, I want to make sure that any transaction that I have, whether it's someone that I'm doing business with for my profession or just as we partner, right, that there has to be some mutual benefit. We're all familiar with the BNI, right? The giver's gain. Some people look to get, some people look to give. I believe in the law of reciprocity. So if I can bring value to anyone that I work with, that's my angle, right? And to tell you, when I started in solar in 2014, one of the toughest things that I had to deal with after doing a presentation, they loved it. They turn on and say, hey, let me talk to my realtor. And I'm here we go, right? So around 2016, I created the brand Your Partner in Solar because I found that a lot of realtors didn't understand the benefit of solar. And for them, all they saw was that it was another obstacle, another hindrance to getting to the closing table. And so by partnering with not just my clients, but those professionals, the goal was to be a resource. So I tell people, if you're a real estate professional, you're on the listing side and that house has solar, when you see it, please don't cringe, call me, because we can have that discussion. You know, I'll ask you to get a copy of the utility bill. I'll ask you to get a copy of the client's contract. And just like I don't understand everything in a real estate contract, I don't expect a realtor to understand everything in a solar contract.
Right.
So in being a partner to them, to the industry, we'll sit down and have a discussion so that when they present it to a buying agent, they can say, hey, this house has an X agreement. This agreement is saving X. It is a loan, it is a lease, it's a PPA. And so that if there's value in that agreement, they're able to transfer that to their buyer.
Love it. And it's all about helping others get to the table and having more education. That's what's important, that everyone should start figuring that out. Help people first, and then the sales will come.
Absolutely.
And this brings up we were talking before we went, live. The cost of living is going up all over the place. And the insurance policies are going up. We have all these catastrophes in my field. You got a lot of things going on in your solar field. We want to help people, improve their situation, because can you talk on that for those that are watching? Because it's an important thing that people will understand, put more money back into their pocket instead of paying all the time.
Absolutely. All right. So as we're having this, you have your banner, right? And your banner runs. Any of the discussions that you have, you don't go out and say, hey, listen, come buy an insurance policy. Right? People have to have insurance. If you own a home, unless you're buying it cash, you have to have an insurance policy. You can't legally drive your car without an insurance policy. You ask people, do you want a second opinion? Let's review what you have in place. So as it relates to cost of living, we know that prices have gone up. They're starting to climb back down a little bit with the mortgage side. Insurance has gone up. If you, as a homeowner, are in a situation where I have to pay something, I think it's in my best interest as a homeowner to pay as little as possible for that product or service if it does not take away from, let's just say, the quality that I'm receiving. Right? I believe in some of our discussions, your policy review is, are you underinsured? Right? A lot of people say, hey, listen, I just want to get the cheapest rate.
Right.
Well,
yes.
What do you give up in getting that cheapest rate? Right? So that policy review is pretty important. For what I do in solar, this year more than ever, the normal is that the utility rates would go up 3 to 4% on average. I live in Old Bridge, where our utility company is JCP&L, and outside of Butler Electric in Northwest Jersey, JCP&L has been the cheapest. So last year, let's just say PSE&G averaged at 20 cents a kilowatt hour. South Jersey, Atlantic City Electric averaged 23 cents. JCP&L was 14, 15 cents.
Wow.
So they've now done what they term an industry adjustment. What does that mean, right? They're saying, hey, the other guys are 25, 30% higher than us. We're going to catch up to the other guys. So they went from 16 cents all the way up to about 20 cents. And so now people are like, oh, my goodness. But what are you going to do? You're going to turn around and say, well, I'm not going to put my lights on anymore. I'm not going to plug the fridge in, right? These are the things, these are the commodities that we need. Insurance, it's necessary. So for me with solar, initially with residential solar, was a means to find them a cheaper alternative, right? And there's leases and there's loans. The interest rates have gotten to the point where less people are taking loans. They're now going back to the leases with an option to purchase after year 6. Everyone's out there selling solar, save a couple dollars.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in the 10 years that I've been in the industry, one of the things I've noticed is that the people who want to save $40, $50 a month, they've already gone solar, right? So my approach, and it's funny, I did a presentation 2 days ago. The guy met me in his garage and he said, okay, great. Tell me, Wayne, why I should buy from you. How are you different than the other 10 people that knocked my door? And, I love that he asked that question, because I was comfortably able to say, all right, great. Most people come in, they sit down and they tell you why you should go solar. But just like you, Sean, when you do a policy review, you start off by asking them what they need. I asked them, I said, listen, let me ask you a question. Solar can do a couple things. It can save you money, or as opposed to you saying, I'm going to save X amount of dollars a month and $30,000, $40,000 over 25 years. What if different from all the other guys. What if we can use solar to put money in your hand today? And he looked at me kind of like, dude, what are you talking about?
I said, what?
Right. So my simple explanation, everyone understands refinancing. Everyone understands home equity. And whenever I say that, people are, oh, no, I'm not touching my equity. I said, no, calm down. Just think about it this way, right? In 2020, when the interest rates plummeted, right, everyone was happy. You had a 6% mortgage and you were able to refinance to maybe 3%. And so your $3,000 monthly payment could potentially be, let's say, $1,500. But what if you cashed out, and in cashing out, you paid off the car note, or you paid off some college debt, paid off some credit cards, right? You did all of that, but because your interest rate was so much lower, now your monthly payment is probably $2,500, but you've paid off all that other debt.
Right.
Right. So in a smaller fashion, if our utility company, and I'll use the word kilowatts for the audience, most people won't know that, but let's just say your average monthly payment is $200 a month. If I refinanced your electricity rate with a solar lease, you had good exposure, we didn't have to replace your roof, we didn't have to cut trees, you could probably get down to about $120 a month. In that scenario, let's say you're saving yourself $80 a month, almost $1,000 a year, and then over time, that would accrue to something significant. But what if we cashed out, we refinanced and cashed out? What if we gave you some of that money up front instead of waiting 25 years for $30,000? What if there were this $10,000 project that you needed to do in your home? Get some of that money up front, so maybe you're not going from 200 down to 120. Maybe you go from 200 to 160. But that roof that you've been putting off, right? And then people putting off their roofs, I'm sure you're seeing in the insurance world, people's policies are getting canceled.
Yep.
Not because there's damage on the roof, but because let's say the roof is 15 years old, right? So let's say they've gotten that notice. Hey, listen, our records indicate that when you purchased a home 20 years ago, you had just put the roof on, and now it's 20 years old, and things are tightened up in the industry. So you might need to do one of two things: change your policy or change your roof. So now they're like, I didn't plan on spending 10 grand. A lot of people go solar, and this is probably the easiest example. They get their roofs replaced. And that's the simplest explanation when I say refinancing and cash out. So whether it's you saying, hey, I want to get my roof done. A lot of people are updating their driveways to pavers. Sometimes they want to pay off some credit card debt. Me, I love to travel. Right? I'm the solar guy who loves to travel.
Yes,
and
sir.
I would not say go refinance your electricity rate to go and travel. But think about it, right? If you're already spending $200 a month, there's a million and one things that you can do. If you can pay off some things, and now your electricity bill, you have to give this money to the utility company anyhow. The cost of living is going up. The cost of utilities have gone up faster than the cost of living. Well, if you're already paying $200 a month, why not pay $180 a month to the solar company, pay $5 to your utility company, but you've gotten that $10,000 item taken care of? So the client sat back in his chair and he said, you can do that? I said, yeah, if you look at all the people who get their roofs replaced, right? A lot of solar companies are partnering with roofers. A lot of us, we do what we do the most is roof replacement and tree removal. No one says to the client, hey, listen, we're going to have you go solar, but you have to pay $3 grand to the tree guy. No one says you have to pay, well, most people, you don't have to pay 15 grand to get your roof done before you go solar. We're literally going to take, and this is, I think, where I differ, as opposed to saying save X amount of dollars a month, which doesn't change your world, right? $60, $70 a month is probably a dinner for one once a month.
Yep.
Take that, do something with it. Back in 2017, I applied this principle to myself. In 2017, when I went solar, I saved $80 a month. My children at the time were 8 and 11 years old. And so I looked at a whole life, it's a compressed payment, whole life insurance product for my kids. I took the $80 and I applied it to my younger son's policy, added $20, so it's $100 a month. The money that I was saving, it's now feeding a whole life insurance product that I pay into for 20 years. It's not a term life policy, it's a whole life policy, but I compress the payments into 20 years. So the money that I saved means that when my son, 20 years later, he's 28 years old, let's say he has a child or two of his own, God forbid anything happens, there's a $125,000 insurance policy. And every year that goes on, the cash value grows, the death benefit grows. And I did that using the money that I use by going solar, the money that I saved, I reallocated those expenses. We're doing that more and more now, especially since the cost of living is high, right? Again, you will speak to someone and you may offer a product and they say, well, if I had an extra $40, $50 a month, I could do this. There are means for people to do that. And fortunately, I'm in a position where thankfully I can help people make better use of the money that they're spending on money that they have to spend anyhow.
Lots of value there, guys. If you didn't hear that, man, you could use getting solar to get a roof done, your driveway done. You can help your child or children get some whole life policies. Wait, we're just talking about solar insurance. Guys, this is what we're talking about. Go deep with people. Find out how you can help them. There's so many different opportunities. You know, you can open up doors. You can find the pain points, and then you can service them. You provide a solution to those problems. Powerful stuff there. And it's something that I'm doing as well on the insurance side.
Absolutely.
Second opinion insurance reviews. I had a client talk about cheap. Yeah, they want cheapest. I have some mortgage people that all they want to do is just the loan amount. That's not replacement cost. That's just the loan amount because they want to get it through to the underwriter to close it. But you're underinsured most of the time anyway when you go that route. So I tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Some people like that, some people don't, and that's fine. I don't need to work with everybody. I need to work with people because I could sleep, you can sleep at night because you're putting people into opportunities that they're gonna be in trouble in a few days, a few weeks, few months, a year from now. That's what people have to start thinking about. Not having commission breath. Oh, I got to pay the bills. I got to make this sale right now, dude. If your stress level goes down when you do things the right way. You know,
I sleep good at night. Sleep good. In direct relation to what you're saying, I sleep comfortably at night. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
So it's just a powerful thing. Just having conversations. So our time is always limited. That's why I always challenge people. If you want to be a guest, please reach out. One thing though, I always challenge people, always call my guest. Always call. Reach out to Wayne. All his information is in the description. All his social links are in there. Follow him, every one of them on here, Facebook, on YouTube, and Instagram, all of them. And then actually have a connection call with them and find out maybe you want to get solar. Maybe you go down a path for travel. There's conversations that we have every single day. And I guarantee you'll have some great knowledge that you're going to leave with a conversation with Wayne. So I appreciate you coming and dropping those gems today, Wayne. And
thank you. And listen, I want to take a second and give it back to you, right? I don't know if you remember, but I think we did one of our first connection calls. And let's say on the YouTube one, I was your episode number 50.
Yeah.
Right. I remember being in a customer's home down in Tom's River and the appointment was running longer. And I said, hey, listen, while you do what you do, is it okay if I go to your living room and make this call? And she's sitting there listening to us having this conversation. And back then I was earlier in, let's say, growing my team. I was still doing, and right now I'm still going in homes and doing solar presentations, one-on-ones with the customers, but I'm growing a bit of an organization. And I want to say thank you because we met at, I guess he used to call it the closing table back at Chris Michaels, right? There was an event that we met there. And you have been generous with not just your knowledge, but with your network. And so when you wear that title, the Connection Machine, you truly live up to it. You have your Facebook page, you have your groups, and you've always been very generous in allowing people to share. And I have to say that a portion of my growth has to be attributed to the connections that were made. And so, Sean, I thank you for what you do.
Thanks, man. This is why we have relationships. And you're supposed to have relationships, guys. You don't just like one deal and it's done and over with. We meet in person, people. We don't just do live stuff on social media. We actually meet, you have some food, you have coffee, whatever, just to become friends. That's what it is. So, dude, I appreciate you. And we, as always, guys, if you want to reach out to either one of us, we're here to help. I'm here to motivate you and also inspire you. So we appreciate every single one of you. Thanks again, and have yourself an amazing rest of your day, guys. Wayne, stick around for one moment, please.
You got it.